Hey everybody, it's Tori and welcome to my YouTube channel. So since this is my first video, I figure I would do like a first time tag, like first stuff. Alright, let's jump right on in. So it says, who did you first watch on YouTube? Probably like Dan and Phil or something, or someone like that, because all of my friends liked them, so I was like, oh, I'll jump on the bandwagon. Bandwagon? Yeah, bandwagon. And I was like, why not? When was my first kiss? I was 14? No. 14. I was 14 when I got my first kiss. It's like four years ago. What is the first thing you do when I get home? I take off my shoes and I change. I hate wearing jeans inside the house. If I don't have to, I won't wear jeans. Who was my first roommate? Don't have one. I live at home still. When was my first detention? Didn't have one. I've always been a goody two-shoes and being too scared to get in trouble. The first movie you remember seeing? Probably some Disney movie. Finding Nemo. Maybe. I don't know. I forget. I barely remember what's the last movie I saw, so I don't know. First foreign country you've gone to. I've only been out of the country once, and it was to Turks and Caicos in the Caribbean for like a family vacation. So yeah. My first piercing would be my earlobes, if you count that as a piercing. If you don't, then my cartilage, because I don't have any other piercings besides that, because I'm broke. My first broken bone. I really didn't break a bone. It was more of like a fractured type thing. My gym teacher threw a football at me in gym class in 6th grade, and he fractured this little bone in there. And I had to wear the cast to a camp that I went to. It was a great time. The first concert I ever went to. I went to a Panic at the Disco concert in February of 2014 with my best friend at the time. And it was pretty fun. They are not to be messed with though. If you go to a Panic at the Disco concert, be prepared to get crushed. I was not prepared and I wanted to die. But it was fun. What's the first thing I do in the morning? I check my phone. I am a stereotypical teenager and sleep with my phone right next to my bed. So I check my phone. Well, where was your first sleepover? My best friend's house. We're not really best friends anymore, but at the time, my best friend's house. It was like 4th grade or something. Also, I have a list over here if you're wondering why I'm looking. It's just a list. Should have said that earlier, but anyway. Who was your first best friend and do you still talk? My first best friend was a girl named, we'll call her Terry. But that's not her real name. But we don't talk anymore. We used to talk in high school. If I see her in the street, I'm like, hey, how you doing? It's not like we ended all bad terms. We just kind of grew apart. Where did you go on your first ride on an airplane? I went to Disney World. Hey! It wasn't in 2016. It was probably in 2010, 2011 that I went on the first plane ride. Yeah, it was kind of cool. Well, who was your first teacher? My first teacher was Mrs. W. I'm not going to say her real name. But she was my kindergarten teacher, and she's the first one I remember at least, and she was really cool. She was kind of mean when I couldn't write my letters the right way, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Who was the first person you thought of this morning? I thought of the first person I texted, which was probably my friend Joe. So yeah. Who was the first person to text you today? My friend Joe? Yeah, I think my friend Joe, because he answered my text. What was my first car? My first car is the car I currently have, which is a 2002 Honda CR-V. Has a lot of miles on it, but it runs great, and it gets me from point A to point B, which is all I can ask for. Plus, I'm broke and can't get another car, so has to do. What was my first job? My first job was one of my current jobs I have now. I have two, but my first job was one of the ones I have now, obviously. It was a cashier in a grocery store. And before you ask, yes, it is as horrible as you think it would be, especially during the holidays. What was your first alcoholic drink? I don't drink, and I'm not 21 yet, so I haven't had one. Do you still talk to your first love? No. Not in a bad way. I just don't really care to. My first profile picture was a picture of me at the bus stop in like sophomore year. So like 2 or 3 years ago? Yeah. It was just a selfie. The first person you subscribed to on YouTube. Once again, probably Dan and Phil, because I was in middle school and I was like, why not? My first YouTube video. Does it mean the one I made or the one that I watched? If it's the first one I made, here we are. If the first one I watched, it was one of a guy running into a wall. It was funny, I don't know. And my first tweet was a tweet at my one friend saying, hey, look, I got a Twitter. I'm not a loser anymore. So that was the first time tag. If you liked the video, like it and subscribe. Comment below if you have any video ideas for me, because I'm unoriginal and probably will be doing these for a while until I can think of stuff on my own. So yeah. Bye.